Hello and welcome to Chosen Lifeline for Relationships. My name is Charmaine Jennings.
My name is Walter Jennings.
And we have been called to challenge and change relationship culture. This Chosen Lifeline has, it's a big deal. We've heard this expression, is the glass half full or is it half empty? And you'll get a lot of different worldviews and how people respond to that question. But the truth is that typically when you have someone who looks at the glass as half full, typically they are considered to be an optimist. And an individual that considers the glass half empty is typically considered a pessimist.
Absolutely. So we want to be careful because this has everything to do with perspective. And so we want to be careful that we don't find ourselves moving into what is called chronic negativity, which is finding ways to stay negative, always looking at the down and the dreary side, the bad side of everything. We want to ensure that we are adopting a positive outlook on the various things that we say. Now that doesn't mean that we become delusional and ignore the facts as they present themselves, but we always want to remain with a growth mindset and also keep a spirit of optimism in the things that we're experiencing.
Absolutely. And remember, it is easy to criticize, right? As opposed to correcting, right? Correction takes work. It corrects it requires the ability to acknowledge, to accept, and to really move into an action plan or next steps, right? So it requires work on our parts, and it's easy to really find fault in things. Like, it took someone, they created this great idea, they came up with this great idea, right? And how many of us, we've sat in a situation, a meeting or whatever, and it takes someone no time to poke 50,000 holes in the plan or the idea, but it took you 50 days to come up with the idea, right? No one likes that person, right? Because it's easier to do that job. It's easier to shrink, criticize, find the faults instead of finding solutions. And so we want to make sure in our relationships we're being productive and not destructive.
Absolutely. And one of the really destructive characteristics of chronic negativity is that it is very infectious. It's contagious. And we often experience or have seen this before, where a person comes into a room and they're negative, their body language is just really bad. And before you know it, if you're not careful, if you're not guarding your energy, now you're actually feeding it. Now you're in a bad mood. Now your facial expression is showing how displeased you are. And so we have to be very vigilant in ensuring that we are protecting our positivity and not allowing ourselves to be infected by the negativity that is around us, or where we're in a bad space. Maybe we've had some things that have gone on with us and now we're in a public setting. We want to ensure that we are not becoming destructive with our negativity and spreading that on to other people.
Absolutely. So we have a few solutions. The first thing is, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we break the cycle with positive thoughts. We want to make sure that we surround ourselves with positive people, right? We want to have heartfelt prayers, and we want to make sure we're using encouraging words.
Absolutely. So some really great quotes regarding chronic negativity. One of them is from Joyce Meyer, who's a very popular evangelist. She says, being negative only makes a difficult journey even more difficult. You may be given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. So this is similar to the phrase that we hear, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? So again, this is all about perspective. This is about putting yourself in a position to recognize whatever situation or circumstance you find yourself in, whatever you have been given, how can you use it in a productive and constructive way?
Yes, and I love this one by Billy Graham. It says, thinking of and serving with others can be an antidote to negativity and unhealthy introspection. So he pretty much says the cure to this, really, or an antidote to help us stay positive, is to think about other people and serve them. That really helps to put us in a place of being more positive.
Absolutely. And the last quote is from the great Maya Angelou, the poet. And she says, don't bring negativity to my door. Now, this quote can be a bit misleading because we are not always going to be able to control other people and their atmosphere and moods and the proximity in which we're dealing with them. However, what we can do is we can control ourselves, because just like negativity can be infectious, positivity can be as well. So when we remain vigilant and when we remain resilient in ensuring that we are not only protecting our energy, but trying to spread positivity, then we can actually begin to see atmospheres and see individuals change because of our commitment to our positive disposition.
All right, this has been your chosen lifeline for relationships. Remember to stay positive. Protect your positivity by always looking at that glass as half full.
Absolutely.
My name is Charmaine Jennings.
My name is Walter Jennings. Be sure to visit us at chosenlifespecialist.com, where we have been called to challenge and change relationship culture.
Do you remember the butterflies in your stomach when you and your partner had your first kiss or held hands? Or when you received that first I heart you emoji text message?
Happy emotions can be the centerpiece of relationships. But what happens when anger, frustration, or disappointment show up?
Do you have the support, skills, and strategies to exercise effective emotional intelligence? Contact us at chosenlifespecialist.com.
Chosen Life Specialists, where we have been called to challenge and change
Relationship culture.